And if you're able to stand, please do so. Gentlemen, please remove your hats for today's invocation and the playing of our national anthem. Lord, we ask that you please keep Kimberly Page and all of the Page family in your thoughts and prayers as she had a medical issue here at the racetrack earlier this afternoon. The mother of one of our late model drivers, Jessie Page, we ask that you all please keep her and the family in your thoughts and prayers. We also ask that you watch over all of our drivers today, their teams and crews, our track crews and officials, and all of our wonderful fans here at Midvale Speedway. We pray this in your son's name. Amen. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to Midvale Speedway. Yesterday's top qualifiers in the open modified division, the number 15 new track record, Craig Phillips. Let's go racing for the Budweiser Fall Classic features. Drivers, start your engines. Now I want to welcome back in the Midvale Speedway, first time back this year. Going to hand over the mic, going to do a little co-commentary tonight. How about everybody give a big round of applause and a big Midvale Speedway welcome back to the voice of Midvale Speedway for so long, Mr. Adam Mackey.
The 05 deep in our pack of Howard Bartholow out of Uricksville. The 007, looking at the 007 back there of Don Rufner III. Car 4E of the little animal. That is Tyler Eichel in the 4E. Chris Cale, we're ready to go. 30 laps of green flag racing action, Midvale Speedway Compacts. It's the Canton Auto Salvage Compact Division coming to green for Terry Coletti off of 4.
Clayton Oliver, Dan Bucky, bringing him to green off of 4. Green is in the air and we're racing. Dan Bucky with the advantage going into turn number 1. Oliver going to battle back on the inside. Side by side down the back straightaway. Adam, over to you.
Into turn number 3, trying to close the door, but first we're going to have a yellow back of the field. It's the jockey in turns 1 and 2, Don Rufner III, bringing out our first yellow flag. He will get his car looped around and we will have a complete restart. 0 laps complete. We stayed pretty clean and green up front. Racing in Vegas Knights, number 19 on the pole, ready to bring the field to green. To his high side, the veteran driver in our compact division, Dan Bucky. Turn 4, Terry Coletti looks him over again, and we are underway.
Dan Bucky again with a good run into turn number 1, but Oliver going to battle back. Off of turn number 2, Bucky going to have the advantage going into turn number 3 by just about a car length. Not able to close the door. 2 by 2 by 2 up front.
And throughout the field, still great racing, and we got a little car sideways up along the outside retaining wall in turn number 3. Going to bring out our second caution here early on. This one, part of that animal racing team again. This one, though, is the cousin of Don Rufner III. Tyler Eichel goes around, but that actually was kind of the aftermath of what happened in front of them as everyone checking up for some cars deep in the pack.
Yeah, it looked like Bruce Gibson got sideways in that number 32 machine, and quite a bit of damage on that number 7 of Brandon Nails as he goes pit side. Clayton Oliver, Dan Bucky, Zach Koger, Brent Schreffler going to try it again, front 2 rows. Adam?
Pretty good start at the white line over in turn 4. The green waves again. We'll see if we stay clean and green this time as we head off into the first turn. We'll see if Bucky gets that run off of 2 like he has been. This time, it's Oliver a little better run on the inside lane. Car number 19 leads the field to 3.
Here comes Zach Koger in the 77 as he's going to work to the inside of Dan Bucky, and Clayton Oliver going to lead lap number 1. Bucky and Koger going to be side by side in turns 1 and 2. Bucky, a little bit of contact now between him and Oliver. Oliver gets sideways to the infield.
And now he's pulling down onto the small track, and that's not the place to be, and that's going to bring out a yellow flag. So yellow flag for the 19 of Oliver. Got some contact from Dan Bucky. He wanted to do by any means a racing deal, and you see he's kind of dropping to the back right now. Kyle Finlayson, the 15, has pulled off into the pits.
Also
bad break for the Oliver driver.
Also the 32 of Gary Gibson side to the pits as well.
Definitely not what he wanted to do, because now he has 20 cars ahead of him. He's got a long way to go. It's a 30-lap race. You've got 1 lap complete. You've got 29 to go, but Dan Bucky goes from position number 1 back to about position 20.
Getting ready to go green off turn number 4. We're back underway.
Green flag waves again, and down to turn 1 they go. The Finlayson Trucking, number 77, on the outside lane. That's Zach Koger. Pretty good run, but not good enough. And here comes Van Meter, going to try to thread the needle down into turn 3. Van Meter, one of our top point contenders at Midvale Speedway. From 4th up to 2nd, he's going to go for the lead on the front stretch.
Britt Van Meter has been a rocket all season long, and he is showing it here in the Fall Classic. Was debating on rather to run this race because of the points situation, but decided to come out, and now he's up front as here comes Kyle Rector battling Oliver for the 2nd position as Rector moves to the outside.
Rector running the 2nd lane on the outside of Oliver. Some slight contact. Incidental in the middle of 1 and 2, but Rector has moved into 2nd. Here comes Jayberg in the 21 car. Hey, much improvement shown by Jayberg over the last couple of years in racing, and now one of our top competitors on a weekly basis in the front wheel drives, and he's going to take the 3rd spot away from Oliver.
Gage Jayberg up to the 3rd position, and here comes Schreffler to the outside of the 19 of Oliver for 4th. Is now Rector starting to work on the 27 of Van Meter for the race lead.
Continuing under green. With your lead battle going on, Rector on the low side, Van Meter on the outside lane, and taking the lead coming out of turn number 4, Rector. Rector goes up and closes the door in the 2nd group. A little bit of contact between he and the 27 car of Britt Van Meter as Gage Jayberg follows in 3rd.
Yeah, those 3 have kind of broken away from the field just a little bit as Schreffler starting to inch in maybe a little bit as he separates himself from Clayton Oliver in the 5th position. And you got the 38 of Brandon France in 6th, the 18 of Tim Frederick, the 3D of Sam Bingham, the 169 of Alan Clark, the 77 of Koger, and then here comes that 69 of Dan Bucky working his way back up through the field.
He has put half the field behind him now after starting at the tail. He's got another 6 cars in front of him that he's definitely quicker than, and he's going to work that outside lane. Next up will be the 169 of Clark, then the Bigham number 3D, and the 18 of Frederick. They're all lined up, and Bucky's going to try to go around him in the high lane. Going laps down right now, the 05 car coming out of turn number 2 and actually pulling off the racetrack is Bartholow. Mike Jones goes a lap down. Who? Mike Jones. Who? Mike Jones in turns 3 and 4.
And Rector puts 10 laps on the board, a 1/3 of the way through this event now, and starting to encounter lap traffic getting by the 18 Nails machine and also the 75 of Beatty. Also want to send out a special thanks to Michael Taylor Allstate Insurance for donating a couple $100 to the winner tonight, making it $500 to win.
Oh, trouble on the front stretch. 75 up into the wall. It's Beatty. Right front is down. Yellow flag waves. And yellow flag out as the 75 of Chase Beatty knocked off the right front on his car. I believe he and the 18 of Nails were running close. Lee together coming off the high side of turn 4. Beatty got into the wall in the outside lane. Car jumped high into the air, and the right front suspension is broken on Chase Beatty's number 75 machine.
Yeah, it definitely looked like a hard hit on the front straightaway.
The leader, Britt Van Meter, is 2nd. Gage Jayberg is 3rd, and Brent Schreffler is 4th. Field comes back to the green, 20 to go.
Rector with a great start. Lots of power underneath the hood of that number 22 as he'll have the advantage going through turns 1 and 2 and clears the 27 of Van Meter. But here comes Gage J. Burke for the second spot, Adam.
Had a spin in turn 1. It was Rocky Nails, but he continues on. Going to keep this race under green. Rector will lead lap number 11, Jay Burke. His highest standing of the day. Jay Burke has moved up into now the number 2 position after starting 6th. Van Meter's fallen to 3rd. Schreffler running 4th. Watching now to big number 3D, looking to the outside of Oliver. Here comes Bucky to the bottom lane as the door opens up on the inside.
Yeah, going to get the door closed possibly into turn number 1. Is Bingham going to close it? Nope. Going to give Bucky room. Is Bucky going to get up alongside Bingham off turn number 2? The front 3 nose to tail in turns 3 and 4. Rector still your race leader. 13 laps on the board in our 30-lap compact feature.
Closing in on the halfway mark of our 30-lap Canton Auto Salvage compact feature event. Top 4 spreading out. Rector holding a pretty wheel for the number 5 position. Bucky was looking to the low lane. Bigham gets shuffled up the banking a little bit, and here comes the 38 to the inside, Brandon France. France and the rent-to-own. Pauline's number 38 going low and trying to pick up the number 7 position in our rundown.
Bucky's going to move up to the 5th position now. Here comes Oliver. Just as I said, that battle back, Bucky going to have the advantage off turn number 4. Move Dan Bucky up from the back of the pack up to the top 5.
5th position Bucky, and I think he's good enough for maybe 4th now. So we'll see what kind of lap times he's turning. Bucky in the 69 compared to Brent Schreffler in the 24. Schreffler crosses the line with a 17.7, and Bucky crosses the line with a 17.9. So far, Schreffler still a little bit quicker. Bucky definitely good enough for a top 5 though today.
Rector with about a 2 or 3 car length advantage in turn number 1. As Gage J. Burke continues to run in that 2nd spot. Van Meter about a car length behind him in 3rd. Then about a half a straightaway back to Brent Schreffler in the 4th position. Then another half a straightaway back to the 69 of Dan Bucky. Clayton Oliver 6th. Brandon France 7th. 8th is Sam Bingham. 9th, Zach Koger. And Alan Clark, the 2nd generation driver in the 169, rounding out the top 10.
Tim Frederick currently shown in the rundown 11th in car number 18. Mike McDonald 12th. Corey Herron in the 30. Running in the 13th position, Tyler Eichel. That car driven by someone else in this event. Could be Kugler, could be Larry Ennis Jr. We've heard a couple different reports come in. That's 14th and 15th Chris Morgan in the 5. And then back to the leader as he crosses the line to complete lap number 20. 10 laps remaining for New Philadelphia driver Kyle Rector in car 22.
Problems for the 4E of Kugler, Ennis, or possibly Eichel in the 4E. Not sure who's in the 4E, but problems for him as he comes down the front straightaway, pulls into the infield.
Rector in the number 22, rolling around the bottom side of the track in 1 and 2, putting down now the 14th car a lap down. The 14th place car a lap down, leaving 13 on the lead lap. Final car on the lead lap is Corey Herron in the 30, and that is a gaggle, a hornet's nest of cars coming off of turn number 2, and they're not far ahead of the leader, Kyle Rector.
Yeah, from 6th place on back, the 19 of Clayton Oliver, the 3D of Bingham, the 77 of Koger, and the 38 of France, all knotted in a wad. Now moving into turn number 1, Brandon France very loose off turn 4 a couple of laps ago. Moving in on 5 to go. Will lap traffic come into play, Adam Mackey? What do you think, or does the Rector have this one in hand?
I think Rector's going to be just fine, but it does get a little scary when you're talking 5 laps to go, and he's definitely going to catch him, and they're in some pretty heated battles. He'll be able to clear the 30 car of Herron as he enters turn 3, put a little more distance on the 21 car of Jay Burke. He can be patient, somewhat patient, not overly patient though, because if he is, that 21 car of Jay Burke is going to be right there glued to the rear bumper. Closing next as they go down the back straightaway on about 7 cars that are locked in a heated battle at the tail end of the lead lap. And he is there, Chris, with 3 laps to go this time.
Yeah, he's definitely caught that lap traffic trying to get around McDonald in the 16, who's side by side with Zach Koger in the 77. That's allowing that 21 of Jayberg to close in as the sun peeks through the clouds here at Midvale Speedway.
And Rector does get an opening to the inside. Going to put Koger in the 77 down the lap. Going to put the 16 of McDonald down. But in the meantime, down to 2 car lengths. Make it 1 car length the distance between the leader, Kyle Rector, and the second place car of Gage Jayberg. The white flag this time will wave. 1 lap to go. The leader's in heavy traffic as they come down the front stretch.
3 wide in front of the race leaders in turn number 1 with less than a lap to go. Now contact between France and Bingham. That's going to open up the bottom for Rector. Rector going to have to make the 3 wide move into turn number 3 to try and win this one. Adamaki, call him up 4.
Rector comes to turn 4. The checkered flag's in the air and Rector's going to win it. Crossing the line right behind him is Jayberg as the lap traffic made it a little more interesting down the stretch. It closed the gap between Rector and Jayberg, but it didn't close enough, and Rector used just enough patience to get through it and stay ahead of the race runner-up Gage Jayberg. Finishing in the 3rd spot, the 27 of point leader Britt Van Meter. Brent Schreffler a solid run in the 24 and 4th. Dan Bucky takes 5th. Clayton Oliver 6th. Tim Frederick 7th. Sam Bigham takes 8th. Brandon France was 9th, and Alan Clark rounds out your top 10. Pulling into downtown Ford, Victory Lane in car number 22. He started in the 7th position. He set quick time in the time trial session yesterday afternoon, and he claims the victory. He's been a front runner in the compact division anytime that he's been in competition over the last several years. And he makes his way around the 3/10 mile oval here at Midvale Speedway, carrying the checkered for the first feature in the return of the 2-day Fall Classic at Midvale Speedway.
I can tell you what,
brings it down to Victory Lane, where we'll send it to Chris Kale.
well, I can tell you what, it's definitely warmed up a little bit out here. I talked to Kevin McClintock a little bit earlier. He was concerned about this racetrack getting some grip for these open modifieds, but I'll tell you what, it is getting warm. And here is your winner in the compact feature, Kyle Rector. Come here, man. That is what you call a clean sweep.
Yeah, not too bad. Car was getting rough there at the end. I don't know what's going on, but it's all right.
Talk to me about whenever you started to encounter that lap traffic. A lot of good cars in front of you. Jayberg was not too far back. When you caught that lap traffic, they were 3 wide in front of you. Was you thinking, oh no?
All I kept thinking, one's going to crash me. One's going to crash me.
Well, they ended up getting you some room. A little bit of contact between France and Bingham down there opened up the bottom, and then it was pretty much yours from there.
Yeah, I can't thank enough. My dad, he lives for this, so I want to thank him.
Who else you want to thank on this 22 tonight, bud?
Greg Grove.
Congratulations, man. Good run. That's your winner. Put your hands together for Kyle Rector.
Rector being presented with the much sought after Budweiser Fall Classic trophies. As the modifieds line up pit side. What a field of open modifieds this weekend. Normally at Midvale Speedway, running the crate modified 602 class, which puts on great shows for a much more affordable price engine-wise for drivers and teams. But a couple times a year, they open it up for the open mods, bringing drivers from all across the state of Ohio to compete with a lot of the regulars at Midvale Speedway.
Driving the number 39 from Sherrodville, Ohio, put your hands together for Jim Coffey. On the inside, in the number 92 in the CH Magneto sponsored machine from Delroy, Ohio, put your hands together for Mike Hudson.
Taking a look to the outside of row number 9 in car number 33, the Finish Line Motors, Canton Auto Sales, Smith's Auto Sales, Full Throttle Auto and Diesel Specialist, and Downtown Automotive Sponsor Machine, former street stock driver, now in the modifieds from Canton, Ohio. Let's hear it for Bill Shimko. And on the inside, one of our top point contenders, and he's found Victory Lane at Midvale Speedway this season, starting deep in the field here today in car 0, the Brandel Trucking, Dehem Oil Field, and Canal House, sponsored 0 from Uricksville, Lucas Ripley.
Row number 8 on the outside in the number 25 from Twinsburg, Ohio, sporting that crate engine in the always green landscaping, affordable flowers, BPC Flowers, GUI Promotion sponsored. Number 25, put your hands together for Sean Martyr. On the inside, back in action in that number 99 machine here at Midvale Speedway the last few weeks. In the Gruel Racing sponsored machine from Dover, Ohio, put your hands together for Jason Gruel.
To starter number 14, driving car number 41, the Rob Moore Attorney, TNT Bakery, Dynamic Duo Beverage and Deli. Number 41 from Paynesville, Ohio, Rodney Saunders. And starting 13th, a second-generation racer right here at Midvale Speedway. We've seen his dad in Victory Lane. We've seen his brother in Victory Lane. And this guy, a number of times in Victory Lane. The Bullet Fabrication, car number 82, from Massillon, Ohio, Bob Sibla Jr.
Moving into row number 6 on the outside, multi-time feature winner here at Midvale Speedway in multiple divisions. In the Stewart's Flooring, Ron Rug Automotive, sponsored number 51 from Canton, Ohio. Put your hands together for Rick Elkins Jr. Another guy who is tough as nails here at Midvale Speedway. Starting on the inside in that number 2 machine. Sponsored by M&D Designs, Riddle Trucking, Gribble Fabrications, R&R Carb Service, Maslin Machine, Sick Puppy Tattoo. Sponsored machine from New Philadelphia, Ohio. Put your hands together for Lee McCreary.
Ladies and gentlemen, to your top 10 starters. Starting 10th, your fast qualifier this weekend for the Open Modifieds. Setting a track record, the High-Tech Pools, JPI Collision and Griff's Racing Engines, car number 15 from Vermilion, Ohio, Craig Phillips. And to the inside, longtime modified driver here in Northeast Ohio, car number 31. Starting in the 9th position, Direct Detail, Bob's Auto Sales, Macintosh Oil, and All Parts Auto Care, sponsored on a machine of Canton, Ohio's Doug Meyer.
Moving to row number 4 on the outside. Can't even count how many championships this guy has won at Midvale Speedway. In the Broad Run Cheese House, Glass Lumber, Federated Auto Parts, C&K Auto Detailing, Van Meters Auto Repair, Dean Miles at Ferris Chevrolet, Blick Tool and Die, Davey Electric, Swartz Trucking, sponsor number 38 from Dover, Ohio. Put your hands together for Kevin McClintock. In a new machine, to him anyway, not to this speedway. On the inside of row number 4, from Carrollton, Ohio, in the Deluxe Body Shop, sponsored number 0, put your hands together for Nathan Embry.
Row number 3, starting in the 6th position. He has plenty of big open modified wins, a former crate modified track champion here at Midvale Speedway. The Ganley Ford R&R Engine Carb Service, Pyramid Pipeline, and Line X of Canton, number 53, from Hartville, Ohio, Dave Dobbins. Starting in the 5th position, in car number 54, Medina Mountain Motors, B&J Tool, Full Throttle Sandblasting, Diano Ready Mix, the sponsors on this machine. From Akron, Ohio, Preston Walker.
Moving to row number 2, with a big motor today, normally a competitor here in the crate engine modifieds. In the Isogenics, 4Force Taekwondo, My Museum Tattoo, Snyder Home Improvements, JDS Mowing, Swartz Trucking, Gribble Fabrications, and Boulevard Lane, sponsor number 27. Put your hands together for Tuskie's Braden Sweeney. And on the inside, making his return to Midvale Speedway with a great qualifying run, he'll start in the 3rd position. In the John Wisman Motorsports, Full Throttle Saloon, Your Pizza, sponsored number 5 from Canton, Ohio, DJ Justin Courtney.
And bringing the field to green for the 2000 to win, Open Modified 2016 Fall Classic feature event here today. Starting in position number 2, the Scio Car Wash, Heron Moore, Vaughn's Pub and Grill, Dover Hydrologic, number 55 from Leesville, Ohio, the Rooster, Brandon Bailey. And on the pole, making his racing return in the modifieds this weekend, the Adams Performance Graphics, Gloss Doctor, number 1 from Akron, Ohio, Jesse Adams. Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it. One nice round of applause for our field of open modifieds for today's Fall Classic. 40 laps they will go. Drivers, start your engines.
The engines roar to life on the front straightaway. Field begins to pull away in turn number 1. 40 laps, 2,000 to win. Open modified feature here for the Budweiser Fall Classic at Midvale Speedway.
The smoke coming out of his car during hot laps earlier, but looks to be okay now. And this time by, race fans, get up. Wave the drivers off. We're going to go 40 laps of action here at Midvale Speedway. It's our Salute the Drivers lap. As the one of Jesse Adams in the 55 of Brandon Bailey leads the field around for one of a final couple of paces. Off of turn 2, they are in formation, Chris. We're going to go 40 laps. Will there be a driver from the front or a driver in the middle? I think you look at rows 4 and 5, and you can't take the 53 of Dobbins, who's 2 for 2 this season in open mod races at Midvale, and the green is out.
Side by side into turn number 1. Adams with a little bit of an advantage on the bottom side. The Rooster going to battle back off turn number 2. Into turn number 3 they go. Now the Rooster slides just ahead a little bit. Adams going to maintain that race lead off of 4. He'll lead lap number 1.
The Gloss Doctor number 1 edging ahead, but here comes Bailey fighting back in the outside lane. Bailey half car length back. The lead trio pulling away from the 5 of Courtney, the 53 of Dobbins, who will lead lap 2. Give it to the 1 of Jesse Adams.
At number 27 of Braden Sweeney, stout, first time I believe with a big motor, and he's going to motor past Brandon Bailey up into the second spot. Braden Sweeney, the youngster, up into second off turn 4.
Oh, Braden Sweeney looking pretty good early on. Gets to the inside of Adams. He closes the door and contact is made in front of the field. They'll all be able to make it by without any additional contact. But yellow flag waves. Sweeney got to the inside heading into turn 1. Adams closes the door. Contact is made and yellow waves early on with 3 laps complete. I think the 27, if he can avoid what happens in front of him, he's still got a top 5, possibly a top 5 or 10 car here as we go back to green with Adams and Bailey up front.
Down into turn number 1, Bailey again going to have a little bit of an advantage going into the corner, but Adams going to have it off of it. Maybe a little bit of contact. Adams clears Bailey into turn number 3.
To the bottom does Adams. Keeps the 55 of Bailey behind him, but here comes Dobbins, and now that these drivers are on the inside lane, it's going to be Dobbins, who's 2 for 2 in built motor modified races this season, making a run to the outside. He's followed by many-time track champion Kevin McClintock. Rick Elkins, who was 3rd in qualifying, he's lining up in the outside group. We've got him 2x2x2 at Midvale Speedway, running for the modified feature. Spin in 1. It's Rodney Saunders, goes around in the 41 car. Yellow flag out for Rodney Saunders in car number 41 as he spins in the first corner.
Yeah, it looked like the 41 machine just got loose going into turn number 1, heavy on the binders, and lost it on his own in turn number 1. Also want to give a shout out to Lucas Ripley and his team. They had a big motor.
Jesse Adams, Dave Dobbins. Green flag going to wave, turn number 4. Back to another restart. We've completed 5 laps so far, 35 to go, and we're underway.
Good restart by Dobbins on the outside lane, but Adams going to battle back. He's going to have the advantage off of turn number 2. McClintock and Bailey side by side in row number 2. Even Steven off turn number 4. Adams a little bit ahead. He's going to lead lap number 6.
Adams has stepped it up a little bit with the pressure coming in the outside lane. He's trying to keep his momentum up. He's using up a little more track, though leaving the outside lane still there for the 53 of Dobbins. Dobbins, if he can clear him, I think would pull away, but right now Adams giving him a run for his money as we complete lap 7. Contact between the top two. Around they go. Cars piling in. Sibla collects the one car there on the left front of each of those machines. Dobbin goes around in the aftermath as he and Adams made contact wheel to wheel going for the lead in turn 1. Adams was running as hard as he possibly could to try to keep Dobbins at bay, and the two hit side by side wheel to wheel to bring out another yellow. So our top two, Dave Dobbins and Jesse Adams, get together in turn number 1. It looks like Dobbins has gone pit side, and I think he's going to be done for the day. And he was 2 for 2 in the open modified races at Midvale this season. He will not make it 3 for 3 here this afternoon. Jesse Adams out of his car. They're going to need to tow his car off. He's got a flat right rear tire. We have completed 7 laps now, 33 laps to go. We've lost another good car as Bob Siblet Jr.'s 82 has gone pit side.
The October 15th season championship race here at Midvale Speedway.
I know he's going to miss it. He spends a lot of time editing video and getting to watch racing action. He's a race fan. He's going to miss that part of it, no question. All of those years. And he's been, I have a feeling he will stay active in posting pictures off of the old videos, and we need to get him into doing some highlights off of the old videos and doing some actual video footage for the Facebook pages. That would be the bomb there.
Yeah, I agree. I think maybe we could bring back Craig Mishler to edit some of those as well and get the old gee wow wheeze, did you see that off of turn number 4 kind of thing. Craig Mishler was always good at those one-liners that we used to laugh about over the years. Those guys just did a great job.
I think that outside lane from McClintock was working real well before the last yellow came out, so we'll see what happens. You got Bailey low side, McClintock high side, 7 in, 33 to go, and we're back underway.
McClintock with a good restart as Bailey got a little bit sideways off of turn number 4. McClintock going to take over. No, he's not. Caution on the speedway.
Yellow flag back out. They're going to get another chance, and this is a good break for the 55 car of Bailey. Ready to go green again, 7 complete. 33 to go. Good start coming off of turn 4. Not as much tire spin there. Bailey will stay to the low side, heading into 1. Coming off of turn 2, the 38 of McClintock will be your new leader.
Bailey going to try and battle back into turn number 3. McClintock doesn't close the door, but then gets a good run off of turn number 4. Going to clear him now. McClintock clear to the bottom in turn number 1. He is your race leader with 8 laps on the board.
On the move in the number 1 groove, it's the 31 of Doug Meyer. He's now up into the number 4 spot. Rick Elkins Jr. running the high side in front of him. Single file formation. First 7 in line. A battle for 8. It's Braden Swaney and Lee McCreary as they battle off of turn 2.
Swaney to the outside of McCreary into turn number 3. Going to have the horsepower advantage as McCreary has that crate engine once they get him rolled up. And there you go, the 27 takes over that position. Now going to set his sights on Nathan Embry in the 0.
He was wheeling it sideways, dirt tracking it down into turn number 1 with Swaney. Got a little assy when he got on the brakes heading into the first turn, but Swaney drops back into line. A little bit of space between himself and the car in front of him. The 0 running in the 7th spot, Nathan Embry.
Front 4 kind of checked out just a little bit from Justin Courtney in the 5th position. Kevin McClintock not getting away from Brandon Bailey, Rick Elkins, or Doug Meyer in that race lead. Now a little bit of contact, Adam.
Oh yeah, more contact back in the field. It is Embry making contact with a 15 car of Craig Phillips. And there you go. I mentioned earlier the father-son combo. You said they got together earlier this year. Well, now it's not Kenny Phillips in the 0. It's Nathan Embry. And he and Craig Phillips get together heading into that first corner. So yellow flag waves. And there you go. 12 laps in, 28 laps to go, green flag, good restart. Turn number 4, we're back underway as McClintock and Bailey take them to 1.
Yeah, and Meyer going to get a little bit of an advantage on Elkins in row number 2. Now McClintock slips off of turn number 2. Bailey with the advantage into 3. Starting to stack up behind Justin Courtney. Problems for him. Brandon Bailey, your new race leader.
And McClintock's a bit off the pace. Here comes Doug Meyer to the outside lane for the number 2 spot. Doug Meyer for second. And Meyer is the man on the mission right now. Wouldn't be a big surprise to see Doug Meyer end up in victory lane. He's done it in these big modified races here at Midvale Speedway in the past, and right now Meyer has worked his way to second. Rick Elkins Jr., he's going for the 3rd spot.
Kevin McClintock starting to fade just a little bit. Maybe not his machine liking that inside line. Brandon Bailey starting to put some distance between himself and Doug Meyer for the race lead.
It's kind of a scary moment for just a second there off of turn 2 last time around. McClintock, I don't think knew anyone was going to the outside of him. Started to go up, then all of a sudden he sees the orange car of Elkins to the outside, and he quickly got back toward the inside lane and allowed room for Elkins, and Elkins' car is closing quickly on Doug Meyer.
That Elkins machine won a couple of features when it was a crate engine. That car running well here with that big motor underneath it today. Looking for the 2nd spot on Doug Meyer as Brandon Bailey continues to pull away.
Just about anything Elkins drives throughout the years has been fast, whether it been in the compacts where he started, into the pure stocks, the modifieds. He's been quick in just about every division, and right now he is one of the quickest cars on the racetrack. The 51 of Elkins running 3rd. Meyer's car pushes up the track. Meanwhile, Brandon Bailey is setting sail. Back in the field, the 27 of Braden Sweeney going for the number 6 spot. Turn 2, we've got the 92 car spun on the inside lane, and that's going to bring out our yellow for the 92, which is spun coming off the 2nd corner. 19 laps in, 21 laps to go. Brandon Bailey, very fast before that yellow flag came out. Doug Meyer, no slouch in that 2nd groove. The field comes to green. We're back underway. It's a good restart for Meyer. Can he clear Bailey into turn 1? He might be able to coming off the 2. He will. Meyer into the lead. Bailey drops in line in 2nd. The battle for 3rd on back.
And Justin Courtney in a dogfight with Lee McCurry and the 27 of Sweeney just behind the 15 of Phillips. Now Sweeney almost sideways off of turn number 4. Great restart by Doug Meyer. That experience showing big up front as Meyer leads.
Braden Sweeney, I thought that he had a car that could get back into the top 5. A close moment as Martyr and Courtney get together in turn 3. The 27 car, though, of Sweeney, 1 spot out of the top 5 now, and he follows our top qualifier from yesterday, Craig Phillips.
Field kind of settling down here, middle stages of the race. 23 laps on the board this time. Doug Meyer, your race leader. Brandon Bailey in 2nd. Kevin McClintock 3rd. Rick Elkins Jr. 4th. Craig Phillips 5th.
Justin Courtney running back in the 7th spot. Right in front of him is the 27 of Braden Sweeney, just out of the top 5. Looking back to 8th is the 25 of Sean Martyr. Lee McCreary running in 9th, and Lucas Ripley completing our top 10.
Taking a look at those crate engines, the 5 of Justin Courtney leads the way. Then the 25 of Martyr and the 2 of McCurry. Those 3 are your top 3 that are in line for the bonus right now for the top running crate engines.
Doug Meyer leading the way, but he's not pulling away from Brandon Bailey. That inside row number 1 for the restart has not really been the place to be so far. We've seen McClintock lose the lead there. We've seen Bailey lose the lead there, but Bailey's car is better on the long run than is Doug Meyer. He's going to start challenging Meyer for the lead, and it's not going to be too long from now. He's to the rear bumper in turn number 4.
A hungry rooster behind the wily veteran of Doug Meyer. Bailey continuing to take little peeks. I'm sure Meyer knows he's there.
31 of Meyer crossing the line at lap number 28. Elkins to the inside of McClintock for the third position, and here comes Bailey peeking to the inside of Meyer for the lead. First and second up for grabs. Third and fourth up for grabs. By himself is Phillips in fifth. 30 laps will be complete this time. It'll be 10 more laps to go for Doug Meyer in the 31. Swaney got sideways coming off of 2. That allows the 5 of Courtney to look low. Swaney has his hands full. Dirt tracking that car coming off of turn number 4.
Yeah, that 27 of Swaney was strong on the short runs, but really handling goes away on the long runs as Justin Courtney going to stream by on the inside. Move that crate engine around the 27 of Swaney for 6th.
Continue to watch the 51 of Elkins search for a way around the 38 of McClintock for the third spot. And Bailey, if this race stays green for the final 8 laps, as it's 8 to go this time, is definitely going to challenge Doug Meyer. He's there. He's waiting for an opening. Meyer doesn't make many mistakes, so he shouldn't expect one. He's going to have to probably force the issue a little bit if he wants to get by, as the 27 of Swaney retires to the pits. 33 complete, going to be 34 this time at the line, and Bailey's there again within striking distance. Meyer's exit of the turn a little bit better. Bailey rolls the center of the corner a little bit better, but I think then Bailey loses rear grip. His forward bite coming off the corner is not quite what Meyer has, as we watch the battle for third and fourth as well.
Doug Meyer debated on going to a couple of different racetracks throughout the week, decided he had his heart set on this 40-lapper here at Midvale Speedway. I'm sure right now he's liking his decision to come here and run the Budweiser Fall Classic, as him and Brandon Bailey starting to pull away from the field with only 3 laps remaining this time.
Man, Elkins applying a lot of pressure to McClintock. He's really protecting that bottom lane for third. Elkins made some contact, curled up the left rear quarter panel on the 38 machine last time in turn 2. And this time by, it's going to be 2 laps remaining for Doug Meyer.
Bailey trying to mount a late race charge. Got the 99 of Jason Gruhl moving to the high side. Traffic not becoming a problem as Gruhl gets out of the road. The only other machine is Rodney Saunders getting ready to come to the white flag.
White flag in the air doesn't mean surrender. It means there's 1 to go as the 31 of Doug Meyer leads the way. He's got a car length on Bailey. Bailey's going to run out of time as he's fallen back a little bit over the final few laps. As they enter 3 and 4, coming to the checkered flag, Doug Meyer in car number 31 takes the Midvale Modified victory, $2,000 in prize money for his modified feature win this weekend. Brandon Bailey second, Kevin McClintock third, taking fourth the 51 of Elkins, and the number 15 of Craig Phillips taking the number 5 spot. Couple of checkered flag carriers for our post race. The 31 of Doug Meyer gets the overall race win, the $200 in prize money. And our top crate engine modified finisher, the number 5 of Justin Courtney, brings it to victory lane. He finished 6th place in this race, but was the first car with a crate engine. Ready to climb from the wheel of this McIntosh Oil Company. Direct Detail, Bob's Auto Sales and All Parts Auto Care, number 31. He's a big fella. He's going to get out of there here in a second in victory lane and celebrate. He says he's tall. He's not a big fella. He's just tall.
I'm both.
He says he's both now. Let's hear it for your winner, Doug Meyer. Doug, congratulations. The always sought after Bud Fall Classic Trophy. Had a few different big modified races going on in the Midwest this weekend, and one down in West Virginia, one up at Lorain. You would have liked to have been at all three if you could have. You chose Midvale, and it worked out pretty good for you.
Yeah, it did. This track's just so awesome. I mean, the facilities are first class, and I was real close to going to Ona yesterday morning, I got to be honest, and from what I heard, I'm glad I didn't go. So, just car was good. It's a tough field down here at Midville with 40 laps to get from where I kind of did, and a lot of good cars up there, just kind of hung out a little while. So, good car, can't complain.
It was really important missing some of the mishaps that took place up front the first 10 laps. A little impatience maybe up front as we had a few cautions for our lead battles.
Yeah, you kind of know that's going to happen here a little bit, these big races. Everybody's just trying to fight for position and just kind of stay up on the wheel and make sure you give yourself some distance, and hopefully nothing happens. And I got lucky and nothing did, so wheels are all pointed straight.
Well done.
Thank you.
Your winner, let's hear it again for Doug Meyer.
Going to catch up with our top running crate engine. Finished 6th in this crate engine, passed a couple of the big motors out there. How about putting your hands together for Justin Courtney? Man, I'll tell you what, kid. It's been a while since you've been behind the wheel of this number 5. Had to be just an awesome run for you. I'll bet you were having a blast.
Oh, it was definitely fun. It's been a long time coming back. Really enjoyed it. I can only see my dad smile all the way from over here, so.
That's why the sun's out. Dad's smiling, right?
Always.
And, you want to thank you again for DJing last night. Did a great job, and that's why I called you DJ Justin C. when we introduced you.
I heard the interview.
Congratulations, man. Great run tonight.
Thank you.
Justin Courtney, your highest place crate engine with the extra money. Doug Meyer in Victory Lane for your modifieds.
T of Barney Gerber. Barney Gerber in the 2T out of Dover, the RV Parts Express sponsored entry, and the number 11 rounding out our field, Roger Boucher out of Malvern. 20 laps of action at Midvale Speedway, the Fall Classic, about to get back underway.
Field in turn number 3, Powell and Cordia. Chief starter Terry Coletti's green flag in the air, and we've got him almost 4 wide into turn number 1.
They do go 3 wide for a moment up the bank and goes to the 21. Got a little bit of a push sideways, gets corrected back around. The 21 of Wayne Powell continues on, but he's lost 3, 4, make it 5, maybe even 6 spots. Could drop to the back before lap 2 is complete.
Absolutely starting to check out in that number 10 machine is Raleigh Hyder Jr. Got himself a nice lead over the 58 of Jerry Gardner running second. Tim Scott in third, Joe Leinert fourth, and the 84 of Rich Schweitzer in the top 5.
Rich Schweitzer, the veteran driver of the 84, previous championships in divisions here at Midvale Speedway, retired but got back into it in the trucks. He's dirt tracking off of turn 2. Look out onto the banking goes Schweitzer. We got him 3 wide. They're going to be able to get around to the outside without any more collision. But Rich Schweitzer in the 84 car, he did some dirt track racing for a while at 250 Speedway.
Coletti green flag in hand. It is in the air. We're back under green.
Hyder in that beautiful number 10 machine takes his truck down into turn number 1. Gardner going to try to get to the bottom, but there is Scott on the inside lane. Here comes Leinert. 3 wide to the outside. He nearly got into the outside retaining wall. Has to drop it back down into Groove 2. Goes to the bottom in turn 4.
Leinert with a good move to get to the bottom behind Scott in turn number 1. He's going to dispose of Gardner. Tim Scott moves up to the 2nd spot. Leinert going to move up to 3rd, dropping Gardner. Here comes Schweitzer with a 3 wide move to try and get back up into the top 5. Packs it deep into turn number 3.
Got loose when he was on the bottom in turn 2. That's what brought out the caution when he had spun in the 2nd corner. But right now, it is hooked up and he's coming back to the front. The burgundy and gold number 84 racing back up around our top 5. In fact, just 1 spot out in 6th. Make it in 5th. The 11 car, a truck not leading. 11 truck going a first lap down in this event. Roger Boucher.
The question is, can Smokin' Joe Leinert run down the number 10 of Raleigh Hyder Jr.? Joe Leinert, probably, if not the best handling truck here at Midvale Speedway. I don't know what else is. Maybe not as much power as that 118 of Locker, but definitely the best handling truck.
I do know that Schweitzer is the man on the mission. Up into the fourth spot, looking for third. He's caught Gardner. He's going to try to drop to the bottom in turn number 2 and look under him. Holding a pretty wheel right there as he looks to the low side, entering 3.
Gardner doing a nice job to keep the Midvale veteran behind him, currently hanging on to that third position rather. As second place, Joe Leinert starting to reel in the race leader. Race leader back in lap traffic, turn 3.
Hyder on the inside lane. Boucher goes up to the top of the racetrack to let the field go by again to the inside. Boucher, that Ford Ranger just not up to par today for him.
Yeah, definitely some handling issues on that 11.
It just seems like it's a little down on power, actually, as it's really glued into the racetrack. We got halfway this time, 10 laps in, 10 more laps to go for the number 10 of Raleigh Hyder Jr. Schweitzer making a move to the outside for the third spot.
Hyder Jr. about to have some company up front. Joe Leinert getting through the center of these corners very, very well. Starting to reel in the race leader, but does he have enough time?
It's a good battle and it continues. Drivers running each other clean as Schweitzer, though, does push up the banking a little bit in turns 1 and 2. Has to get back into line. He would love to be able to get a run to the inside of Gardner, who's done a pretty good job of protecting. Opening was there momentarily coming out of 4, and up front for the lead, top qualifier Leinert has caught the number 10 of Hyder for the top spot as they race in 3 and 4.
Coming down, 2 laps to go. Oh boy! Right in front of the leaders, the 87 machine did I don't know, that was some kind of trick out of a circus deal, but nonetheless kept it on all 4 wheels. The 87 of Andrew Fishburne.
Hyder and Leinert set for the restart. Green flag, turn 4.
Hyder running Leinert way up the racetrack, almost opened up the bottom for Gardner. And caution on the speedway, failed start.
So it will be a restart. Not liking the start up front. Hyder kind of going up the banking, and Leinert, Gardner, Schweitzer. Green flag, turn 4. Here we go, back to a restart. Much better restart. Top 2 get into one another, bumping tires as they take the green down into 1 and 2.
The 58 of Gardner going to get a 3-wide move to the outside of him as Schweitzer starting to slice and dice his way up. He's up to 3rd. Here comes Locker.
Schweitzer in the 3rd spot. Been able to clear Gardner. Locker will do so as well on the 118. Cream rising to the top right now in the final stages of our mini truck feature. We have now 13 complete. Will be 14 complete for the 2nd spot. Contact between Schweitzer and Leinert. They try to keep going. Yellow flag is out. Yellow is out for Schweitzer and Leinert. Looks like Schweitzer with a flat right front tire. And around goes the 10 of Hyder on the restart. The 10 of Hyder continued to push the 82 car of Leinert high on the restarts, and Leinert got tired of it. Returns the favor on the front straightaway. So Leinert and Hyder get together while competing for the race lead. Hyder continued on restarts to take Leinert up into the 3rd groove. Leinert was trying to stay down through the turns, and eventually contact was made after Leinert lost his patience of where he was being run on the racetrack and returned the favor. So contact between the top 2. We still have 13 laps in and 7 to go.
And Adam, both drivers were warned on the radio. The 10 was warned to stay on the bottom of the racetrack, and obviously he did not adhere to that warning because he was way up high, I even think maybe past the 2nd lane coming off turn number 4.
So they'll get the rest of the field realigned. Here comes Locker in the 118. 58 of Gardner to turn number 4. To the white line in the fourth corner. Terry Coletti waves the green. We're back underway. It's a good restart for Jerry Gardner, but I don't know that he can get to the bottom to close the door on Locker. He gives him room, and Locker will take the lead on the exit of turn 2. Here comes Leinert going for the 5th spot.
Leinert threading the needle in turn number 3. Moving up to 5th around Varnes. Now he's going to have his work cut out for him as he gets around the 72, or tries to get around the 72 of Derek Cordia. Always a guy very tough to pass here at Midvale Speedway. Leinert's going to drop to the bottom. Cordia going to try and block that lane. Leinert's going to pick up the 4th spot in turn 3-4.
Leinert's 82 truck hooked up. We have 5 laps remaining, 15 complete, and only 5 to go. He's going to close on the 4 of Scott, the 58 of Gardner, not too far ahead of them, the 118 of Locker, but might be running out of time. Only 4 laps to go at the stripe.
Close racing in turns 3 and 4 between Gardner and the number 4 machine of Tim Scott. Scott trying to get to the inside. Gardner driving it like a compact, keeping it right on the bottom. And here comes Scott to the inside. Are they going to have contact in 3? Yes, they are. Oh, boy. 3 wide. Scott up on the top of the 58 of Gardner. Now they get... Oh, and a flat right rear, and going to get the caution. Flat right rear, Tim Scott, turn 1.
Bad break for Scott in the number 4. He has a flat tire. He and the 58 of Gardner were really battling it out, beating and banging.
They're going to be the 2 that settle it, but Gardner is going to have his chance to decide this one. Green flag in the air. Locker and Leinert a good restart down into turn 1.
Pretty good restart in this green-white checkered. Locker gets through turns 1 and 2 well. So does Leinert. He stays out there, but he's losing now a truck length. Goes back hard into turn number 3. Might have to use the bottom. Might have to use the bumper to make the pass. Locker, though, keeps it really tight to the bottom off of 4. That hurts his progress as they go into 1 and 2.
Down the back straightaway for the final time. Locker by a nose. Leinert going to have to pack it into 3. Locker on the bottom. Leinert on the top. Off turn number 4. Who's it going to be? It's Colt Locker by a foot.
Nice finish in this mini truck feature. Colt Locker in the 118, Joe Leinert in the 82. Very clean over the last 2 laps on that green-white checkered restart. Makes his way into downtown Ford Victory Lane. Locker played his hand well there. Was not aggressive in this race. Bided his time, got to the front at the right time when problems occurred between the leaders, and he holds off Leinert for the victory of the Fall Classic. Let's head to Victory Lane and Chris Cale.
Here's your winner. Put your hands together for Colt Locker. My Water Doctor, GM Electric, Townhouse drive-through sponsored number 118. Come here, kid. Man, you've had a lot of good runs, you and Joe Leinert down here all year long. Man, you guys put on a great finish right there. This one kind of fell into your lap with the contact between everybody.
It fell in my lap because I was being careful. I was staying out of it. Them guys were bumping coming down the backstretch. That's not what racing's about. Can't be doing that.
I agree with you 100%, and we were up there talking about it, and I said when you was restarting 6th, better not count out that 118. He's been patient. He's got one of the best trucks down here, probably the most power under the hood. You bided your time. You drove a smart race. You find yourself in victory lane.
Yeah, it's I just want to thank my sponsors and everyone first of all.
Go for it.
Townhouse drive-through, my water doctor, GM Electric, and the Linden Tree in Mineral City.
Congratulations, man. Great run. Talk about the side-by-side racing with you and Joe on that green-white checker. Last 2 laps, I don't think you guys ever touched.
No, I don't think we did either. I've raced them before, so I'm starting to learn how to run them, which I don't know.
Just a great race, man. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, your winner. Put your hands together for your winner, Colt Locker. By the way, Colt, you won by about a foot.
Street stocks lined up pit side. Pretty big invert after qualifying yesterday. In qualifying, one of the drivers from the Lake County Speedway in Painesville, Hunter Combs, set quick time in the 63.
In the LMI Construction sponsored number 63 from Painesville, Ohio, it's Hunter Combs.
To the inside of our next row, the orange and black car number 28, sponsored by Mallet Energy and Bucky Mowing. He's from New Philadelphia. That is Waylon Orr. And to his outside, another one of the Midvale Speedway regulars and veteran driver, the Angry Barbecue Rick's Transmission Hoops Auto Body and M&D Design car of Dover's Bill Abill and car 31.
JD Byrider, Talati Pipe, Amsoil, Sammy Sue's Barbecue, and Rent to Own, the sponsors on the 4.
The Rick's Transmission, Dynamic Duo Beverage and Deli, TNT Bakery, car number 91 of Painesville, Ohio driver Anthony Leflock. On the outside, the number 31, a veteran driver making his return in the Smith's Auto Sales, Canton Auto Sales, and Canton Auto Salvage car from Canton, Ohio, John Leisure. Rounding out our field, in car number 70, the LMI Construction Ride. Make it the sponsor by Chris Kale Ride. This is Ryan Tedesco. Ready for green, 30 laps on the card. Street stocks underway. Turn 4.
Josh Moss and Larry Smith into turn number 1. Moss with a little bit of an advantage in the high lane by about a nose. Parisi's right there in the 3rd spot. Caution in turn number 1, the 11 of Joe Shimko. Sorry, turn 2.
Where we end up with the 44 of Larry Smith and the 77 of Josh Moss. 30 laps still to go. Terry Coletti ready to wave the green. He does. We're back underway at Midvale.
Side by side across the line down into turn number 1. Again, Moss a little bit of an advantage through 1 and 2. He's going to have it off of turn number 2 and down the back straightaway by about a third of the car length. A little bit of contact in turn 3. Smith moves Moss way up the racetrack.
And Lucius is off the pace in the 112. Mark Lucius in the 112 is off the pace. And yellow flag is out. So some sort of an issue for Mark Lucius in the 112 car as he comes to a stop. One of the front runners at Barberton all season long, winning. Two by two, we try it yet again. Midvale regulars ready for green in turn number 4. Colton Ritchie, last year's street stock champion, and Rick Parisi's the Painesville Lake County champion this year. Starting 4th, we're back underway as the green flies again.
Again, Moss with the advantage off turn number 2. Larry Smith trying to hold him up towards the wall. Into turn number 3, Smith battles back. Much better this time is the 30 of Harvey sideways off of 4.
Harvey got a great run in the outside lane, was able to get around Wood, able to get around to the outside of Pringle. When Pringle moved to the bottom, it opened up the outside lane. He follows now the 12 of Kuykendall, the 2 of Parisi's, the 77 of Moss, but they're starting to backpedal as Moss struggling just a little bit in the outside lane. Here comes Colton Ritchie to the bottom side. Kyle Grove in the 3 will follow him. Denver Cart in the 21 also in line. Second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, and all the way back. Racing for position. Ryan Tedesco has called it an early day in the street stock race. He'll prepare the late model now.
Nice lead for Larry Smith in that Zippy Cat 44, but here comes Colton Ritchie, the rookie champion a season ago. Starting to close in just a little bit is now Kyle Grove. I think he's got, 7 feature wins, starting to show a little bit of smoke out of the back of that machine, but he's on the move as well.
A very fast car that right now is boxed in just a little bit is Denver Cart. The 21 is up to the 4th spot and going to take a look to the inside of the number 3 of Grove. Sideways to Smith. He spins into the infield coming off of 2. Smith spins, I believe, on his own coming off of 2. The yellow flag will wave for your leader, Larry Smith. Ready for green flag, coming off of 4. 5 laps in, 25 to go.
So getting ready to come back to green, Colton Ritchie, Kyle Grove, Denver Cart, Josh Moss, green flag back in the air. Grove's going to get a good run on the outside. Grove packs it into turn number 1 on the outside lane. Ritchie tries to battle back. Not going to be able to hold with that number 3 as he continues to start to smoke into turn number 3.
Denver Cart to the inside now for the number 3 position as Moss has fallen back. Grove leading the way, Ritchie running in second. Cart is up to 3rd. Kuykendall has now moved into 4th, and here comes Don Harvey Jr. in car number 30 for the number 5 spot. Cart now to the outside for 3rd. Will drop back in line. Gets a little free as he tries to go back to the bottom groove. Speaking of free, the 21 car running in 2nd. Colton Ritchie got sideways. Still some smoke coming out of that number 3 car of Kyle Grove, who's leading. But here comes Cart. Flies into that 2nd spot. Doesn't quite close the door on the red number 21 of Colton Ritchie. He will be able to now heading into the 1st corner. Denver Cart is up into the 2nd spot, and he'll try to close on the leader.
Here comes Kuykendall, and as Abil spins in turn 2. Yeah, Abil turns in 2. Just getting ready to talk about Kuykendall and Don Harvey Jr. on the move.
On the outside lane, the 21 of Denver Cart. Definitely a challenger for Grove, ready for the restart. 21 from the finish.
Grove gets a good restart in the bottom lane. Cart going to have a good run down into turn number 1. Side by side for the race lead on turn number 2.
Cart, a good run, middle of the backstretch, will take the race lead. He'll leave plenty of room for Kyle Grove on the inside, and we're still racing for the next 3 rows behind him. At the line for lap number 10, give it to Denver Cart.
Grove continues to try to battle back on the bottom side. Slips up a little bit off turn 2. Cart has the full racetrack to himself if he wants it. Continues to leave the bottom lane open for Grove as Kuykendall moves up into the 3rd spot around Ritchie.
And now Denver Cart does move toward the bottom lane. His car really free when he did so. He nearly spun it coming off of 2. Back for the 5th spot. Don Harvey Jr. 3 wide. Into the turn. Plenty of room for the 21 of Ritchie and the 2 car of Parisies. And Harvey picks up 2 spots. Give him another at the line. He's up to 4th. Don Harvey Jr. finding an opening in that 30 car. Could be back to challenge. Speaking of challenges, the 3 of Kyle Grove isn't giving up yet. He gets to the inside of Cart. Nearly makes some contact. They continue on.
And number 3 machine continued to show smoke out the back end of that machine as the 30 of Harvey going to take over the 3rd spot. Don Harvey Jr. on the march in the 30.
Cart might be our leader right now, but Don Harvey Jr. is the driver to watch. That 30 car is hooked up. Beautiful body on that machine, and now looks to the inside. Grove keeps the doors shut. He'll go to the outside as they head to 3. This time by it will be halfway. 15 laps in, 15 laps to go as the cross flags are given.
Don Harvey Jr. trying to swing around the outside of that number 3 of Kyle Grove, and he's going to do it into turn number 3. Not able to clear him. Grove still staying on that inside lane. He's got him cleared off of 4. Moved Don Harvey Jr. to second.
Harvey started deep in the field. Denver Cart is your leader. Harvey in second. Grove in the 3rd spot. Kuykendall in the 4th spot. Black flagging the 3-car of Grove with heavy smoke coming out of that machine. And for the lead, we look back to the front of the field. The 21 of Denver Cart. The 30 of Don Harvey Jr. for the number 1 spot. Harvey's looking low. Cart will protect into turn 1. Trouble in 2. Yellow flag will wave. It's going to set up a double file restart as the 91 has spun. Anthony Leftlock out of Painesville has brought out our caution flag with 17 laps in. In attendance no matter where they ran, and right now he's running the 30 street stock on the outside for the restart. Cart and Harvey to green in turn 4.
The family affair, the front 3, all family members down into turn number 1. Harvey on the outside, Cart on the bottom, Kuykendall right behind. Side by side has got some action in the middle of the pack. The 4 of Beatty and the 44 Smith.
Harvey's going to be able to inch by him, and he takes the lead. He'll close the door into turn 1. Don Harvey Jr. may now check out from the field for the 3rd spot. Kuykendall gets the 3rd position. He's another one of those family members in the mix. Look out on the backstretch. Colton Ritchie's off the pace, and yellow flag is out. Yellow is out for the 21 car of Colton Ritchie with a flat tire on the 21 ride. And they put the aftermarket body on it, and it is hooked up here tonight for the number 30. 18 laps in, 12 laps to go. Will go green coming off of turn 4 to the line, and Harvey brings him in, and we're underway.
Don Harvey Jr., Denver Cart in turn number 1 off turn number 2. Harvey going to have the advantage by a half a car length into 3.
Still side by side, Harvey trying to clear the 21 and will, as Cart gets way sideways coming off the 4th turn, will be able to drop to the bottom lane right in front of Kuykendall, who may have made some slight contact. Your top qualifier now showing up in the top 5 for the first time. The 63 of Hunter Combs with 10 laps to go is up to 4th.
As he works his way around Rick Paris, he's in the number 2. Dennis Wood going to try and fill the bottom lane as well. Gabe Pringle right there in that 7, then the 77 of Moss, the 4 of Beatty, the 44 of Smith, the 28 of Orr, and the 91 of Leftlock. I believe Jimmy Orr behind the wheel of the 28.
63, that's the car I'm watching right now. Your top qualifier, Hunter Combs from Painesville, has worked his way from 13th up to 4th, and he's to the inside of Kuykendall, but can't pull alongside. Maybe he'll try it again coming off of turn number 2. Does get a better run this time. Opening up the inside as Kuykendall battle for the 3rd spot, heading to turn 3. He'll give him room. Change in hands for position 3. You can move Combs into the 3rd spot. Move Kuykendall back to 4th. Running 5th is Dennis Wood.
Don Harvey Jr. up front with a good 12-13 car length lead back to Denver Cart in second. Cart has about 5 or 6 car lengths back to that Hunter Combs ride. We'll have to see if Combs is going to have enough time. Think he's going to have enough time to get to Denver Cart. Don't think that anybody's going to touch that 30 of Harvey unless we get a caution. 5 laps to go.
5 laps remaining. It's 11 a.m. at the Holiday Inn, and right now Harvey is checking out from the field with the 21 of Cart running in second, the 63 of Combs running 3rd, Kuykendall is 4th, Wood is 5th, Parisi 6th, the 7 of Pringle 7th, 77 of Josh Moss running in the 8th position, Larry Smith, Jimmy Orr, the 4 of Beatty, and the 91 of Leftlock completing our field on the lead lap.
Hunter Combs is caught the 21 of Denver Cart. Have to see if he has anything for him. He's got about 2.5 laps to do it. Hunter Combs in the 63 into turn 3.
Down to 3, make it 2 laps remaining for Harvey. Left lock moving over to the outside lane. Harvey in cruise control. For the second spot, that's our battle. The 63 of Combs gets a run to the inside. Can he pull alongside Cart? No Cart enough power to pull out. But yellow flag waving for the 44 of Larry Smith. Larry Smith had come to a stop near the pit chute up in turn number 2. This may shake things up a little bit. Down to 2 laps to go. It's going to be a green-white checkered finish. 28 laps complete. The chance to do much the same from the 3rd restarting position. 28 complete, 2 laps to go. It's Harvey, Cart, and Combs, the top 3. Kuykendall is 4th. 2 to go, a green-white checkered restart.
Field gets on the gas a little early. Harvey restarting like he's in a late model. And they are going to throw the caution in that one.
63 of Combs from the 3rd restarting position. The 12 of Kuykendall restarting in 4th. Coletti with the green in hand, ready for the restart. Turn number 4. Here we go.
The 30 of Harvey and the 21 of Cart down into turn number 1. Harvey going to have the advantage off turn number 2 by about a half a car length. Here comes Hunter Combs in the 63. Looking for the white flag off of turn number 4. Adamaki bring us home.
White flag in the air for Don Harvey Jr., regular in the main event series. Numerous feature wins there at Barberton. Track championships there as well, and wins at Midvale tonight. It looks like the Fall Classic Street Stock victory will be his in the first start of the year in the Street Stock. Don Harvey Jr. wins. Denver Cart 2nd, Hunter Combs 3rd, Dennis Wood 4th. Kuykendall will take home 5th. Rick Parases will take 6th. Pringle 7th. Finishing in the 8th spot, the 77 of Moss back there with Jimmy Orr as well as this one comes to an end.
So long-time competitor in the late model and main event racing series, Don Harvey Jr. pulling into victory lane in the street stock division here at Midvale Speedway. Great racing up front as Harvey started in the 11th position and rocketed and diced his way up through the field and will take the victory here in this street stock Fall Classic feature. Once again, a quick reminder why Harvey takes his lap of victory on the 15th, Saturday night, October 15th, our season championship night, presented by Summit Racing Equipment right here at Midvale Speedway. That was 2 weeks from yesterday. Make sure you're here. Don't miss our champions being crowned and a skid plate race. Adamaki, down to you in victory lane.
Number 30 machine making its way into victory lane. Sharply done. A street stock, much like the other ones you saw out here, but they put the aftermarket body on. We also saw the 11 TJ Barker machine that Shimko was behind the wheel of, having the same package of body style. Well, this thing was hooked up, claiming the victory, started pretty deep in the pack, methodically worked his way into the lead, past Denver Cart, and then held off Cart and Combs on the last green-white checkered restart for the victory. Let's hear it as he climbs from behind the wheel. Don Harvey Jr. Right here, Don. Let's face the crowd. Don, congratulations. This 30 car, first time out this season. I think you guys have hot lapped it a little bit and test and tuned, and you guys got her dialed in, and this thing was outstanding this afternoon.
Yeah, we had it hooked up pretty good. It's nothing like my late model. I'll tell you, you got to work in these cars. But I had fun. I want to thank Foster and his whole family for letting me drive this thing. Really appreciate it.
A lot of fun, and it was fun battling those other fellow Barberton guys up there in front. You had some relatives up there, had all kinds of stuff going on with Kuykendall. You had Cart. It was a good battle.
Well, that's my son, stepson in the 12 car, and he beat me last night, and that's all I heard about last night, so I had to beat him tonight.
Good deal. Let's hear it again for Don Harvey Jr.
What's the dollar amount?
Winning 50-50 number. Winning 50-50 number. $500, I believe, is the winning 50-50 prize. That's what I've been told at least. It's a yellow ticket. Early remove the steering wheel and toss it outside of the driver compartment. A lot of smoke coming out of that machine for not starting the race yet.
'16 champion in the late models, the 12 of Bubba Smith, the 2 of Alex Rosenberry, the 0 of George Riddle, the 112 of Jeff Dunphy, the 3rd, the 45 of Hoopengartner, the 6 of Baker, the 22 of the Codeman, and the 69 of DR3.
Rolling into 3, Jesse Page and Brian Smith, 40 laps the distance. The McIntosh Oil Company late models of the Budweiser Fall Classic underway as they head into turn 1.
Jesse Page with a nice run on the bottom. He's going to have the lead off of turn number 2. Page going to be your race leader into turn number 3. They get through the stage right. Brian Smith starting to creep back up on the outside. Jesse Page going to lead lap number 1.
Smith fighting back, being patient, trying not to overdrive it in that outside lane, but now he's starting to pick up the pace a little bit. Goes down into 3 and 4. And despite that drying agent on the bottom in turn number 3, Page's car holding grip. Tedesco, though, will start to move to the outside lane. Smith ready to move into the lead. Tedesco's going to come along in the outside lane.
Ryan Tedesco gets around the 0-2 of Jesse Page, going to bring the 2 of Alex Rosenberry along with him. Brian Smith, Alex Rosenberry, and Ryan Tedesco up front in this late model feature. 4 laps on the board.
The next one to start his move, the very patient driver, and with some track championships to go along with it, the number 12 of Bubba Smith to the outside of Doug Mate for the 5th spot. But our top 3 about to heat up. Nose to tail, they were running in turns 3 and 4. Tedesco starting to look to the low lane. Smith comes down across the nose and closes the door in the middle of 1 and 2. '69 of Don Rufner III going to be sent off the racetrack. Yellow flag comes out. Yellow flag comes out for the 69 of Rufner, losing power, plenty of smoke, and maybe losing the power plant on that 69 car. Engine yesterday, last night for that number 69 machine, and now Brian Smith, your leader. Ryan Tedesco now alongside Alex Rosenberry in 3rd. Bubba Smith lining up in that 5th spot with Page in the outside lane in 4th. Here we go to green, 6 laps in and 34 to go.
Tedesco with the advantage down into turn number 1. Brian Smith slides up into him just a little bit. Tedesco half a car length lead into 3. Brian Smith just off the bottom. Tedesco going to sweep around the outside. New race leader Ryan Tedesco.
Tedesco takes the top spot. A little bit of contact. Here comes Alex Rosenberry to the outside for the 2nd position. Brian Smith inside. Alex Rosenberry outside for the number 2 spot. The new Philadelphia drivers taking positions 1 and 2. Rosenberry's car just a little free on the entry of 1. Still stays in the gas now, coming off at 2. He's about to move into 2nd.
9 laps on the board. Alex Rosenberry clears the 1 of Brian Smith. Going to start the work over the high side of Ryan Tedesco. Tedesco way up the racetrack. Rosenberry right there now. Good run into turn number 3. Side by side off of 4.
Rosenberry has that Rosenberry towing. Flight test number 2 hooked off. He overshot turn 2 a little bit. Dropped back. He's going to drive right back into it in 3. Pulls back up alongside the door of Tedesco as the lead battle continues.
Bubba Smith to the back of this lead trio, now making a foursome up front. Ryan Tedesco, Alex Rosenberry, Brian Smith, Bubba Smith pulling away from the field. Jesse Page running in the 5th spot. Doug Mate in 6th. Then Dunphy, Hoopengartner, Riddle, Jay Bird, and the 6 of Larry Baker.
Tedesco has his hands full a little bit in the 701 car. Got sideways coming off of 4. Rosenberry didn't drive underneath of him. He's just waiting for the right time, the right opportunity to make the move. Brian Smith has dropped 2 car lengths back from the duo. And Bubba Smith, at one point or another, you think he's going to maybe try to start looking to get around his younger brother.
Alex Rosenberry just kind of hanging out, letting things settle in right now. Ryan Tedesco, that 701 machine, hasn't been on the racetrack hardly at all this year, just this weekend. So trying to see if maybe that 701 starts to lose the handle before too long on these long green flag runs. The number 2 of Rosenberry right there.
2 laps ago, the 1 car, Brian Smith, used it all up. He put the right side just slightly into the wall. You can see his tire marks back by the Midvale Speedway riding on the white wall. And Rosenberry is now applying some pretty heavy pressure to the race leader, Ryan Tedesco. 17 complete, 24 to go, and Rosenberry is there.
Good battle behind them, about a full straightaway. The 14 of Doug Maid has worked his way around the 02 of Jesse Page for the 5th spot.
Top 2 single file, 3rd and 4th starting to close back in. That time Rosenberry maybe got down on the flat a little bit. The figure 8 track in turn 2, kicked the car sideways, and Tedesco starts to put a little distance between himself and the runner-up. Rosenberry eating that right back up though. Halfway this time, 20 laps in, 20 laps to go. A 4-car race for this win. They're going to be coming up on the 22 car of Cody Jayberg. First weekend behind the wheel of the late model. He's running pretty high up the track to let the leaders come through. Scary moment for Jayberg. Got in the loose stump but continued on and lets the top 4 go by easily. Jayberg going to call it an event and say, I had a pretty successful weekend driving late model. Might just make himself a pretty good late model driver. Here's the 2 of Rosenberry, again catching Tedesco.
Alex Rosenberry starting to take some peeks to the outside of that 701. Is the handling starting to go away from the 701 of Tedesco? This car still looks pretty stable in the corners. Ryan Tedesco doing what he needs to do up front. Familiar face up front here at Midvale Speedway.
Tedesco's best lap time during the race was a 13.9. His last lap was a 14.0. That lap was a 14.1, so he really hasn't dropped off the pace much at all. Consistent laps, he's protecting the bottom. If Rosenberry's going to get him, he's probably going to have to go to the outside lane, or maybe make him wiggle just a little bit, as there's now 15 laps to go for Ryan Tedesco.
Rosenberry really starting to put the pressure on. Knows the laps are winding down. Bryant Smith, Bubba Smith sitting right there waiting to see if anything happens with these top 2. Rosenberry trying to get to the outside. Tedesco not allowing it to happen so far.
He's got a run on him now. Here comes Rosenberry, but he's got lap traffic ahead. It's probably bad timing. He sees it. We'll see if he goes to the bottom. He's going to continue to work the high side. He's got the lap traffic ahead. His car just washing a little bit in that outside groove. I just don't think he has the bite to stay out there. Not enough grip on the outside lane. As the 3rd and 4th place cars have again closed on the top 2.
Working by George Riddle in the 0. Next up, Gary Hoopengardner in the 45 as Rosenberry again starting to creep back in. 11 to go.
Scary moment for Hoopy coming off of 4 as he nearly lost it in front of the leaders. That car going away. Riddle's going to the inside of him. And now 10 to go for the 701 of Ryan Tedesco.
Here comes Rosenberry again mounting a charge. Knows this may be the time as they start to reel in Jeff Dunphy the 3rd. Rosenberry got to go with 9 to go.
Going to try to set up another run as the 2-car of Rosenberry is there. Going to be 8 laps remaining, 32 complete. Good racing so far. Flag to flag, running under green conditions. The 2 of Rosenberry trying everything he can to get around the 701 of Tedesco. 7 laps remain at the line.
Ryan Tedesco, Alex Rosenberry continue to lead, starting to get very close to lap traffic. That 112 of Jeff Dunphy the 3rd. Dunphy right in the middle of the racetrack. Not something Tedesco or Rosenberry wants to see. Let's see what happens in turn one. Dunphy gives way. Rosenberry now clear track. Now's the time. If Rosenberry's going to do it, it's got to happen now.
Brian Smith trying to close that gap again to make it a three-car battle. He does close a little bit more. Dunphy nearly spun it coming off of 4. 5 laps remain. Tedesco still leading, and he's running very consistent laps against the bottom of the racetrack, saying the outside lane is yours, Alex. If you want it, it's theirs for you to have.
Ryan Tedesco, one of the top 5 drivers maybe to ever race here at Midvale Speedway. Many feature victories in multiple divisions. Tedesco trying to pick up his first win in 2016. He's about 2.5 laps away, Adam.
It will be 2 laps to go this time for the 701 of Tedesco. Some contact from Rosenberry as he gets into the rear bumper just a little bit down in turns 3 and 4. Tedesco setting the car in the middle of the corners just to make sure he stays on the bottom on exit. White flag will wave coming off of turn 4.
Alex Rosenberry going to give it one more shot down the back straightaway. He's going to get into the 701 off 2 and spin himself out. Rosenberry spins off turn number 2. Caution on the speedway.
And yellow flag is out. Flashing red light on the dash pulls off into the pits. So it looks like Rosenberry is going to be done. You can see a flashing red light car maybe running a little bit warm, and actually puff of smoke here. That's actually just running over the oil dry in the pits. Who's going to pull it off, race fans? Will it be the 701 of Ryan Tedesco? Will it be the 1 of Brian Smith? Will it be the 12 of Bubba Smith? Will Doug Mayton, the template 14, pass them all? Green flag off of turn 4.
Tedesco with a great restart. Down into turn number 1. Off turn number 2, Brian Smith going to try to battle back into turn number 3. They're side by side. Off turn number 4, Ryan Tedesco going to pick up the win by a half a car length.
Exciting finish over the last lap for Ryan Tedesco and Brian Smith. They ran each other extremely clean coming to the checkered. And they were side by side coming off of turn 2. It looked like Brian Smith was going to be able to pull it off, and Tedesco had a little better entry in the middle of 3 and 4. And just enough to claim the victory. The veteran driver back in action this weekend in his 701 late model and back in victory lane. Good run for Brian Smith in second, Bubba Smith third, Doug Mate fourth, and Jesse Page coming back from the hospital where his mom was being tended to today. She said, "Jesse, go race your race." Turns out to be a top 5 finish for Jesse Page. Good run for the 02. Alex Rosenberry also having a strong event up until that spin with 1 lap to go, giving it all he could, trying to pick up a victory. Tedesco protecting that bottom lane well throughout the event here this afternoon. We've got the trailer race getting ready to go at Midvale Speedway, but first, victory lane festivities for your winner, Ryan Tedesco. Let's send it trackside to Chris Cale.
Flying Ryan Tedesco. Man, I've been talking to this guy for the last couple weeks, back and forth on the phone, through text messages. He kept telling me, man, I want to come back and race, but I don't know if I got the time. The kids are racing. You know, he's trying to keep in the boys' karting series stuff, and they're going back and forth on the weekends, racing at a couple different tracks, also right here at Midvale Speedway. And I think I talked to him for about an hour and a half one night, and I said, come on, man, you got to come back. And, of course, he was going to run with us on season championship night. I bet you see him back here in 2 weeks now. But what a great run by the 701 ride. Great job by the crew. I know Dad's got to be happy over there pit side, getting ready to come out. Ryan Tedesco, your feature winner once again here at Midvale Speedway. Here he is, ladies and gentlemen, Ryan Tedesco. Man, I'll tell you what, I just kind of told everybody, we were talking back and forth on the phone about the last month, and you kept telling me, man, I want to race. Dad wants to race, but I'm doing stuff with the kids. Are you glad you decided to race?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I never thought that I would not be happy with racing, but it's just, with the kids keeping you busy, they're in a half a dozen different things and working late, and, it's just only so many hours in the day.
I'm with you. Tell me about, okay, first off, you and Bryant Smith out front, got that caution. You got to the outside. Did you think, now's the time I can win this race if I get this good restart?
Well, I knew I had a chance. I knew it was a long race and anything could happen. I mean, you don't really know until you get a good run on the car if it's going to get tight, if it's going to loosen up, and somebody might be better on the longer run. So, and the cautions, if the caution comes out, Alex is going to be tough on the outside. Bryant or Bubba, any of them line up on the outside of you, and you got your hands full.
And then the battle with Rosenberry, it seemed like he was just, he was flirting with the idea of trying to get around you a couple different times. Got into lap traffic, slipped back. And then the late charge, you knew he was going to try and make it. Got into you a little bit, trying to give you the old bump and run. Ended up spinning himself off out of 2. And then you got another restart.
Yeah, I didn't want to see that last restart. Not with one to go. At least if you're on the inside on that restart, I don't like being on the inside on those restarts. And if somebody gets that edge on you, you want more than one lap to try to fight back. And luckily, we got it done.
Well, and we've talked about that before, about, you arguing that guy on the bottom lane, if he's the leader, he needs to have a little bit of an advantage. It shouldn't be side by side at the line. You got a great restart, powered into victory lane. How happy, man.
It's awesome. It makes it all worthwhile the time you put in to get it out here, and even better when all the kids, the wife's here. So yeah, pretty cool.
And I'll take the credit for sponsoring that number 70 street stock and you getting to knock the dust off running that around.
Yeah, that might have helped. Hey, I got to give a shout out to Van Meter's Auto Repair, Lee's Famous Recipe, and McBride's Hidden Horsepower, CC's Performance, and Marathon Manufacturing. My dad.
Look at this.
Hey, look at that. My dad, Max McCartney, Randy Smart, they're all over in the pits, and I figured they'd be over here, but who knows. Yeah, I got to thank her. She'll get mad at me.
Well, answer me this. Are you going to have a few Budweisers after the races? Or are you going to be able to go to work tomorrow? Okay, I'll call in sick for you, all right?
There you go.
How about putting your hands together for your winner, Flying Ryan Tedesco? Family and victory lane doesn't get much sweeter than that. Always love it when the wife and kids come down to victory lane. Dad and the crew over there, happy pitside. Adam Mackey, we just seen a pretty good late model race by a wily veteran in Ryan Tedesco and the youngster Alex Rosenberry. And then when I get here to the racetrack, I've got most does a great job with that. I thank him very much for allowing me to spend time with my family, go to kids' games and things like that. And sometimes when I have to work, he fills in for me, and I really appreciate everything that Matthew does. And of course, our wonderful track owners, Randy and Sue Smith. All right, so again, about the only thing I know is starting positions. I think that's Tyler Reminger in the, I guess that's the 14B machine up there. He is going to be the first starter. Then Zach Dybel On the outside, the 13B, I believe, is Kelly Wisman. Then Kyle Finlayson in the 15. We can see the Finlayson towing number 15 on the outside. And number 8 machine is going to be Hillary Smith and Angela Riddle. The 99 machine is Robert Raber. The back 3 machines, I do not know who's in those. See if Matthew relays that information to me. Okay, here. So they are going to start rolling, going to come to green. This is a rolling start, not a dead start. So fire up your machines and start rolling down there into turn number 1. Machines are going to start rolling. Rolling start to green flag. Okay, they're starting to roll down there in turn number 1. Going to be a rolling start. Again, the first lap is supposed to be no contact. Looks like Bryant Smith has abandoned his number 1, and he is now in the number 2 with Marcus Archer. So Bryant Smith riding shotgun with Marcus Archer in the number 2 as the 1 is sitting idle on the front straightaway. That looks like to me is going to be a ramp. So getting ready to come to green. Coming to green, 12 laps, no contact on the first lap. No contact on the first lap, coming to green. Tyler Rominger on the front row, Zach Dybel, Kelly Wisman, Kyle Finlayson, Hillary Smith, Robert Raber, Rob Scott, Marvin Troyer, your front 8. We'll try to keep you up to date. Gary Smith and Jason Anthony have their hands full trying to do this one. Coming to green, Jason Neely drops the green flag. 12 laps, green is in the air. The 2016 trailer race is underway. Lap number 1 going to be complete. Kyle Finlayson out front. Finlayson out front. Now we can start the contact. Already have lost a boat and a trailer. If the trucks lose their trailer, they're supposed to head to the infield. So if the trucks have lost their trailer, well, they're supposed to head to the infield. We got boats all over the place, campers all over the place. Carnage is ensuing. The 15 is your leader, Finlayson, and he's out front all by himself. 2 laps on the board. Oh, spin up in turn number 2. That is the Dybel machine, was running in the 2nd spot. I believe Tyler Reminger is in the 2nd spot now behind Finlayson, who has almost a half lap lead. Guys losing their trailers, heading pit side, all kinds of carnage ensuing up in turn 1 and 2. Oh boy. Go! Just hit the truck and trailer on the front straightaway. Ryan Tedesco looking to take over the 2nd position in turn number 4. Tedesco diving to the bottom. I believe that is Rominger up on the high side. Tedesco trying to take over the 2nd spot. Lots of smoke in turn number 2. Reminger gets passed by the 12 of Tedesco. Now we got some more boats being dragged and driven all over the racetrack in turns 1 and 2. Your leader still the 15 of Finlayson out front. He is in turn number 1. And that is 5 laps complete. So almost to the halfway point. Your race leader, the 15 of Finlayson, up high, going through turn number 2, now down the back straightaway on the low side. Here comes Tedesco. Ryan Tedesco, now the 15 pulls off. Ryan Tedesco in turn 3 is your leader. Tedesco in turn 3 and 4, your leader. Here he comes. We've got a truck dragging another truck and 2 trailers down the front straightaway. So Reminger is in the second spot. And Melfin is the third place runner all the way from the back, and now we've got absolute carnage off of turn number 2. That camper gets lost. Oh boy, there was a big hit to that truck over there. That's why we stay in these vehicles. That really stinks whenever you're sitting in one. And so Reminger looks like he's got his hood up, but he's lost his trailer, so he's out. Finlayson back running. So the red door gold Durango Melf is spinning in turn number 2, and he's in second, or turn number 4. He's second. There goes Finlayson. Melf across the line in second. Then the 13B of Wisman in third. So Ryan Tedesco, where's he at on the racetrack? Where's Tedesco? Here he comes. Coming to the line now in the number 12. That is 9 laps complete. Tedesco, your leader, 3 to go. So Ryan Tedesco, turn number 3. Tedesco, your leader. 3 and 4. The second place runner is in turn number 2. Got a big shot and the trailer stayed on. That's exactly how you want to do it. But trying to see who that was that tried to knock Tedesco's trailer off but was unsuccessful. Big accident on the front straightaway. Melf trying to take out some trailers, trying to take them out with him. He's going to nose into the wall. Tedesco doing a good job. Is he going to be able to avoid that trailer? He hits it, but his trailer stays attached. Tedesco with 2 to go. Last lap, final circuit for Ryan Tedesco. He's down in turn number 3. Tedesco picks up the late model win, going to pick up the win in the trailer race if he can navigate these last couple corners. And he wins. Oh, that's the white flag. Okay, they're giving him the white this time. Tedesco got to go another lap. Second place runner. So here comes Tedesco. If he can hold on to his trailer, he wins. He's sideways. I think he's got a flat. Uh-oh. Is Tedesco going to be able to make it with the trailer? He's going to make it at the line. Ryan Tedesco, your winner. Second place battle. Here comes the 322. The 322 machine of Kyle Rector will finish second. And the third place finisher, the 13... The 99 of Robert Raber nipped the 13B at the line. So Raber finishes third, Rector second, Tedesco your winner. So what a very entertaining trailer race. Ryan Tedesco had to navigate some traffic, held onto his trailer, and will win. So we'll send everybody else pit side and let the cleanup begin. Once again, want to thank everybody for coming out here to Midvale Speedway to the Fall Classic. The ever popular skid plate race will end our season next, or actually in 2 weeks, on Saturday night, October 15th. Season championship race. Champions will be crowned. And, of course, our season-ending skid plate race. Definite carnage on the front straightaway for sure. Going to take a little bit of cleanup work, but Ryan Tedesco making his victory lap. Going to pull into downtown Ford Victory Lane. We'll catch a quick word when he gets here. Well, I can say this now. For a guy who hasn't won shit all year, and you come down here and win 3 this weekend, that's kind of messed up. Yes, I did say the S word. I apologize. Come on out of here, man. Yeah, does the door even open anymore? All right, here's your winner. Put your hands together. Ryan Tedesco.
This was supposed to be my truck, but there was no passenger seat in it, so I changed trucks and got that piece of shit.
Hey, Bubba Smith, how'd your ride go?
I think I started losing the transmission on about lap 3 or 4, and she finally gave up on me coming down the front stretch here.
All right, how was your event? Somebody did their best chance to knock your trailer off, just absolutely door slammed you right here on the front straightaway. You hit about 4 or 5 trailers, kept going. How'd you hold on to this thing?
I didn't know if, at first it gets really late in the back end and you don't know if the trailer's still on there until you get her straightened out. But I had that thing every which way, but I didn't know what was going to happen, man. I never did one of these. This is awesome.
So, more fun, late model, trailer race.
Man, that's a toss-up. They're both pretty fun.
Okay, so now you got to go get you a skid plate car because I know Rosenberry's got one. So now that's your next job for 2 weeks to get a skid plate car.
All right, I'm on it. I'll do what I can.
Who you want to thank on this number 12 tonight?
Well, I'm not even sure. I think I got to thank Bubba because I think it was supposed to be Bubba's truck, and he made a last-minute change because this one didn't have 2 seats in it, and he made a last-minute change. And I was standing down there by the late model, kind of talking to the guys, and they ran up and said, "Hey, you want to jump in this thing real quick?" So
you're like, "Sure."
Yeah, heck yeah. Why not?
All right, congratulations, man. Good run.
Hey, thanks.
Your trailer race winner, Ryan Tedesco. Rob Scott. Rob Scott not talking? Hey, so how was your run? You lost your trailer, man.
You know how it goes. That's how my racing seasons went.
I hear you, brother. Terry, how about your eventful race?
I tell you what, father and son memories that don't get much better. I ran out of gas right there. I crossed the checkered flag and ran out of gas. Classic Coletti.
Nice. Devin, good job, man.
Thanks.
All right, Devin Coletti, Terry Coletti down here. Congratulating. Devin's out, he says. He's got to go get ready to play some football. All right. Devin Coletti and Terry Coletti, father-son moments. Ryan Tedesco, your winner. Once again, thank you to everybody for coming out. Please be safe. Please be. Okay, they're starting to roll down there in turn number 1. Going to be a rolling start. Again, the first lap is supposed to be no contact. Looks like Brian Smith has abandoned his number 1, and he is now in the number 2 with Marcus Archer. So Brian Smith riding shotgun with Marcus Archer in the number 2 is the one that's sitting idle on the front straightaway. That looks like to me is going to be a ramp. So getting ready to come to green. Coming to green, 12 laps, no contact on the first lap. No contact on the first lap, coming to green. Tyler Rominger on the front row, Zach Dybel, Kelly Wisman, Kyle Finlayson, Hillary Smith, Robert Raver, Rob Scott, Marvin Troyer, your front 8. We'll try to keep you up to date. Gary Smith and Jason Anthony have their hands full trying to do this one. Coming to green. Jason Neely drops the green flag. 12 laps, green is in the air. Now, trailer race is underway. Lap number 1 is going to be complete. Kyle Finlayson out front. Finlayson out front. Now we can start the contact. Already has lost a boat and a trailer. Supposed to head to the infield. So if the trucks have lost their trailer, when they're supposed to head to the infield, we got boats all over the place, campers all over the place. Carnage is ensuing. The 15 is your leader, Finlayson. He's out front all by himself. 2 laps on the board. Get up here. That is the second spot. Tyler Reminger is in the second spot now behind Finlayson around almost a half lap. to turn 1 and 2. Oh boy. Ryan Tedesco looking to take over the second position in turn number 4. Tedesco diving to the bottom. That is Rosenster up on the high side. Tedesco trying to take over the second spot. Rosenster is passed by the 12 of Tedesco. I've got the most drag in turn number 2 of the racetrack in turn 1 and 2. Your leader still at 15 with the outrun in turn number 1. And that is 5 laps complete, almost to the halfway point. The race leader, the 15 with up high, going through turn number 2. Down the nice straightaway on the left side. Here comes Tedesco. Ryan Tedesco, another 15 full ball. Ryan Tedesco in turn 3, is the leader. Tedesco in turn 3 and 4. Your leader, here he comes. Got a truck running, another truck into the trailer down the front straightaway. So Revenue in the second spot. Elton is third place runner all the way to the back. And now we got out Flores off of turn number 2. That camper gets lost. Oh boy, that was a big hit to that truck over there. That's why we stay in the vehicle. Although he is going to be a bit of one. So, Revenue looks like he's got his foot up and he's off the trailer, so he's out. Then what's the back from him? So the red door, Durango, no, it's spinning at turn number 2, and he's in second or third or fourth. He's got the middle still with it. No, across the line in second, and the 13 of Richmond in third. Ryan Tedesco, where's he out on the racetrack? Where's Tedesco? Here he comes. Coming to the line now is the number 12. That is 9 laps up. Tedesco, your leader. Here we go. Ryan Tedesco, turn number 3. Tedesco is your leader. 3 and 4. The second place runner in turn number 2. Got a good shot. The trailer stayed on. That's exactly how you want to do it. But that was it. Big accident on the front straightaway. Mel trying to take out some trailers, trying to take them out with him. He's going to nose into the wall. Tedesco's doing a good job. Is he going to be able to avoid that trailer? He hits him and his trailer stays intact. Tedesco is sure to go. Last lap, final circuit for Ryan Tedesco. He's down in turn number 3. Tedesco picks up the late model win, going to pick up the win in last couple corners. And he wins. Oh, that's the white flag. Okay, they're giving the white this time. Tedesco got to go another lap. Second place runner. So here comes Tedesco. If he can hold on to his trailer, then sideways, I think that's taking it to line, Ryan Tedesco, your winner. Second place battle. Here comes the 3.2. Kyle Lester, second. And the third place finisher, the third. The 99 of Robert Rayburn hit the 13B at the line. So Rayburn finishes third, Rector second, Tedesco your winner. air. The 2016 trailer race is underway. Lap number 1 going to be complete. Kyle Finlayson out front. Finlayson out front. Now we can start your contact. Already lost a boat and a trailer as the trucks are lose that trailer. They're supposed to head to the infield. So if the trucks have lost their trailer where they're supposed to head to the infield, we got boats all over the place, campers all over the place, signs ensuing. The 15 is your leader, Finlayson. He's out front all by himself. Last off the board. Oh, spin up in turn number 2. That is the Dymo machine. We're running in the second spot. Tyler Revenger is in the second spot now behind Finlayson, running almost a half lap lead. Guys losing their trailers, heading pit side, all kinds of carnage ensuing up in turn 1 and 2. Oh boy. Just gets the truck and trailer on the front straightaway. Ryan Tedesco looking to take over the second position in turn number 4. Tedesco diving to the bottom. I believe that is rolling to up on the high side. Tedesco trying to take over the second spot. Lots of smoke in turn number 2. Redmond gets passed by the 12 of Tedesco. That's got the road speed drags and drilling over the racetrack in turn 1 and 2. Your leader still at 15 of Finlayson out front in turn number 1. And that is 5 laps complete, almost to the halfway point. Your race leader, the 15 of Finlayson, up high, going to turn number 2. Down the back straightaway on the low side. Here comes Tedesco. Ryan Tedesco, number 15, pulls off. Ryan Tedesco in turn 3 is your leader. Tedesco in turn 3 and 4, your leader. Here he comes. He's got a truck dragging another truck and 2 trailers down the front straightaway. So Revenue is in the second spot. And Melvin is the third place runner. The Nazi Melvin got absolute carnage off of turn number 2, that Clipper ball. Boy, there was a big hit to that truck over there. That's why we stay in these vehicles. That really stinks whenever you're sticking one in. So, Revenger looks like he's got his foot up, but he's lost his trailer, so he's out. And what's the back truck? Now, Mel is spinning in turn number 2, and he's in second, or turn number 4. He's second. There goes Finlayson. Mel across the line in second, and the turn of Finlayson in third. So Ryan Tedesco, where's he out on the racetrack? Where's Tedesco? Here he comes. Coming to the line now is the number 12. That is 9 laps complete. Tedesco giving her 3 to go. Tedesco, turn number 3. Tedesco, your leader. 3 and 4. The second place runner is in turn number 2. Got a big shot. The trailer stayed on. That's exactly how you want to do it. But that was trying to knock Tedesco's trailer off, but was unsuccessful. Big accident on the front straightaway. Mel trying to take out the trailer, trying to take him out with him. He's going to nose into the wall. Tedesco's doing a good job. He's going to be able to avoid that trailer. He gets into his trailer, stays attached. Tedesco with 2 to go. turn number 3. Tedesco picks up the late model win, going to pick up the win in the trailer race. And last couple corners. Win. Oh, that's the white flag. Okay, they're giving me the white this time. Tedesco got to go another lap. Second place runner. So here comes Tedesco. If he can hold on to his trailer, he wins. He's sideways. I think he's out flat. Uh-oh. Is Tedesco going to be able to make it with the trailer? Take it in the line, Ryan. Tedesco, your winner. Second place battle. Here comes the 322. The 322 machine of Kyle Rector will finish second. And the third place finisher, the third. The 99 of Robert Rayburn nips the 13B at the line. So Rayburn finishes third, Rector second, Tedesco your winner. So what a very entertaining trailer race. Brian Tedesco had to navigate some traffic, held onto his trailer, and with win. We'll send everybody else pit side and let the cleanup begin. Once again, want to thank everybody for coming out here to Midvale Speedway to the Fall Classic. The ever popular skid plate race will end our season next, or actually in 2 weeks, on Saturday night, October 15th. Season championship race. Champions will be crowned, and of course our season-ending skid plate race. Definitely.
That raced the last few years I was here announcing, and in the compact division was Mr. Third Place. It seemed like he finished third in every feature in the compact. He knew that he got into the 19 car. Oliver coming off of turn 2. When he came across the line after they threw the yellow, he pointed at himself and said, you know what, that was on me, guys, giving him his spot back. I will go to the tail of the field. Definitely not what he wanted to do, because now he has 20 cars ahead of him. He's got a long way to go. It's a 30-lap race. You've got 1 lap to complete. You've got 29 to go, but Dan Bucky goes from position number 1 back to about position 20 after taking fall.
Getting ready to come back to the green. That's going to move Zach Coker into 77 to the outside of Clayton Oliver. You got Chris Wessler and the point leader in this division at the middle.
compact. Rolling into turn 3, Kyle Rector, the leader. Britt Van Meter is second. Gage Schaberg is third. And Britt Trepler is fourth. Rick Schrempler, a solid run of the 24 in fourth. Dan Bucky takes fifth. Clayton Oliver sixth. Brandon France was ninth, and Alan Clark rounds out your top 10. Jesse Adams, Dave Dobbins. Green flag got away in turn number 4. 34 of Smith, 77 of Moss. Couple of Midvale regulars ready for green in turn number 4. stranger to victory lane in Mid-Vale Speedway. No stranger to victory lane in his career on the outside lane to 21 of Denver Cardinals. Definitely in challenges for Grove. Ready the Letty with the green in hand. Finishing in the 8th spot, the 77 of Moss back there with Jimmy Orr, as well as this one comes to an end. An exciting